Okay, guys. Um, I made a video about a couple of days ago that I was talking about the calibers that I was considering on buying a new caliber, a new gun. The 270 WSM and the 6.8 uh, Westerner or Western, one of those two. They're both similar. They're both shooting the same bullet. They both have very, very close cases. Um, the uh, the primers are the same. The bullets are a little bit different, being that the 6.8 has a longer. You can put a longer pill on it. So I started looking at those calibers, and looking at videos of people that have them and the shots they made and the pretty long shots. But then there's an issue that I have a caliber that is very proven. It's been around for ages, and it's keeping up with the rest. So, all these new guns are going for $1,300 to $1,600. If you want to get a nice one with the threaded barrel, the fluted barrel, the fluted bolt, the whole deal. So I said, before spending any money like that, and then having to find the bullets, which is pretty hard to find to make them. I've been looking. I just went to a reloading store that I go and get supplies. The guy's cleaned out. I mean, the guy's cleaned out. When I walked in, my mouth just hang. The right wall of the store, all the shelves are empty. The back, it's empty. He's got a few things in a few books. And so he happened to have a box of E-tip, which is the bullet that I shoot in the 308, but he had it in 168 grain. And he says, and that's it. That's what I got. So I bought it. So he has this box of bullets, and I have the old, which is empty. I got the old box. I kept it just so I can remember, just to look at it and see what kind of bullet it is, and da-da-da. Okay, so this is the E-tip, and it shows the expansion as it hits and on the speeds and everything else. A green tip, very nice looking bullet, made by Nosler, and I have a Nosler reloading book also. But this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I paid last year. $32. This is what I paid for 168. Oh, the dogs. 168 grains. Look at the price. It's $51. $51 for basically the same bullet, just a little heavier weight. And this is the way things are going. So if a 308, which is usually found under a rock, they used to be so plentiful, it's taking so many months to get a box like that. I'm not going to be buying any new experimental bullet. In fact, the 6.8 Western is so new. It's only come out last year that I only found one company. Well, I didn't go through a whole list. I looked at Savage. They don't have it in that caliber. I looked at Tikka. Did they have it? I don't think they had it either. You know what? I'm not sure now. The one that they do have is the 270 WSM, because that round's been around for more than 15 years. It's been around for a while. So, and I was kind of leaning towards that one. But everybody's saying, oh, the 6.8 has so much power and more powder and da-da-da. You can do this and that to it with bullets. And then you can only load minimum 160, 175. That's a heavy bullet. So, and it does kick because you're pushing a big bullet. So on the Spear manual, that bullet doesn't exist. I bought this book about 5 years ago. It doesn't exist. And on the Nosler, it doesn't exist. Let me know. I mean, everything's going up. I hope it doesn't stay that way because it's really going to kill the sport. Nobody's going to go to the range and blow $100, in a couple of boxes of bullets. That's ridiculous. So as far as a new rifle, I think I'm out. Now, I talked to my friend today about the sale of the 7 mag, and he said that his son is cheap, like him, not buying the gun. So I'm going to take it to my friend's store and put it on consignment. Before I do, for time's sake, I'm going to go and shoot it, maybe do a video on that. And to show you how bad things are, I took 2 boxes of 7mm bullets in 60 grains, Spear, lead tip, and I took it to swap it for this one. Now this guy, he used to do stuff like that. I went one time and I took some 300 Magnum that belonged to a friend of mine. He passed away. Shell cases. I had a whole bag, and I took the dye, and we did a swap. And I got some. What did I get? I got powder, and I got I don't remember now. It was a while, but we do a swap even, and he liked it, and and actually I sold him, so he gave me back $140. But now he is so empty in the store that he doesn't want to swap. He wants money. I understand it. He needs to pay the establishment. He's got the overhead, so he wanted the money. So this box, man, $51. That's more than let me see. That's more than a third in a year. So I'm gonna load this for the 308, and that's it. So now I'm going to turn the camera around, and on the video that I made a few days ago, I mentioned that I can have high energy on either the foot per pound energy on the 605, the 305, I'm sorry, or the 270, because some people were saying that after 300 yards or 350 yards, the 270 didn't have enough power to bring down an elk, and I'm going, what are you guys talking about? I'm going to show now the loads that I have, the bullets on the book. I'm not making stuff up, okay? To say, look, I could do it. This is what it says on the book. You use that powder, you put the level of powder that you want. You have small, medium, or large, and you have the type of bullet you want to use, okay? And I'm going to demonstrate the ballistics and the foot per pound on the 270 and on the 308. Now, but I'm going to show you as far as energy that 308 kicks ass. Okay, you can bring down elk, wild pig, big Russian boar, and deer, and bear. So let's see, 150, 165, 168, 175, 180. Oh yeah, it does, 200. And you can knock down, if you're in a dense forest, you can shoot through a brush and still hit it. And these are the bullets. These are the bullets that I have. That's the tip that I got for the 308, and my scope is adjusted to that. All right, so now I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay, so I won't be able to show the book at the same time, so I have to do this in a certain order, because if I'm going to be moving the camera around, you guys not going to be paying attention. You're not going to like it. But tricky. All right, so first I'm going to start with the information at where I'm shooting. So usually I'm hunting at 8,500 feet. Temperature, let's say, is 69. And humidity is, let's say it's 5. Okay, and then you hit that, lock it down. So this is not going to move. Now let's see what we have on the list. Okay, here's a 308. Okay, so let's change that load to 2963. Change it. 63. Save it. It's 0 out of 100. Let's shoot it. Oh, wait a minute, I got 1,000 yards. No, I don't shoot 1,000. So let me change that right now. Let's do 600 yards, even though 305 is not exactly for that kind of a shot. Okay, shot went off. So let's see, the drop is 75.14. Energy is 13.87 at 600, and at 500, look at that, it's 16.13. Speed 2098. So, and then the drop is 46. So let's change it to 5 because 600 is not really a, this type of bullet is not for that type of shooting. Okay, here we go. So now we have 500 yards, 46 drop, 8 inches elevation, which I have a BDC, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's go down to energy. We got 1613. I hope, because that'll do a, because when I changed the powder, I didn't come back and lock it in. Okay, 85. So we're gonna save that again. Save it. Save it here. And let's see if it does a difference. Now let's double check on the drop. Okay, the drop was 46.27. Energy 16.13. Let's see if the altitude is going to make a difference. Shoot it. Go back. So it did make a difference. 46 to 42, so it's even flatter. And energy, it went up to 1968. So this is what I was telling some people. I was making a comment that every time they make a comparison, you gotta compare exactly the same. You just don't compare one thing to another. I mean, different. You have to give it the location and everything, because that has a variant on the bullet. It changes. So for me, 42 from 46. That's very good. And from 16 to 19, that's an elk kill. No doubt about it. And the speed is 23.18. Okay. So we're going to keep that. Now let's go to the 270. Okay, so now I went ahead and I added, because I was doing this with the book in my hand and it was taking too long. So I went and I added all these calibers that I'm going to show you. The 6.8 Western, 270 Winchester, 308 Winchester, 7M08, 270 WSM, that I was considering that caliber for a new gun. And every let me start from the 6.8. Every caliber has the appropriate weight bullet, maximum powder, and ballistic coefficient. This one here is 160, which is the smallest on the 6.8. Then it jumps to 175, I believe. And the coefficient is very good. It's 560. Powder is 2910, 200 yard range, 8,500 altitude, temperature, barometric temperature. All right, 270, 150 grain, ballistic coefficient, 2905 on the muzzle velocity. The 308 168, 2910 also, 503 on the ballistic coefficient. The 7M08, 150, maximum powder, same thing, 200 range, and the 270 Magnum, which is, it's got the highest powder, 31, highest velocity, 31.7 or 7, but the coefficient is poor, it's 434 at 200. So let's shoot it. All this information has been already saved, and now let's look at the results. This is the let me bring it here. This is the rainbow. And if you look here, it says 7M08 in purple, and look at the purple line. It's at the bottom. Let's come up. Let me bring this thing a little bit. Okay, so the 270 WSM at 500 yards, it dropped 36 inches, 0.87. Energy is 1551. And velocity out there at 500 is 2089. The 270 Winchester, it dropped 37. Energy, it's 1619. So right there, in the it dropped 1 inch, exactly more than the Magnum 270, but it has an additional 100 pounds, almost 100 pounds of energy plus 16. The 6.8 is 38 drop, 0.88, 1619. So it's the same as the 270 up here. All right. And it dropped 1 more inch than the 270. And this is the 6.8 Western, which is supposed to be one of the hottest bullets right now. And then followed by the 7M08, it dropped 41 inches. Energy is 1351. That's kind of poor. So if you're going to kill an elk with this, you can't go past 400 because you get 1570. Now, one point that I want to come up and make on the 270, there's some people, some kids in Utah, the channel is Backfire. This kid does rifle reviews, scope reviews. I've been watching his work, and he's very thorough. He's very good. And he does a very comprehensive review on the guns and and everything to do with shooting. But he made a comment that kind of went against the grain with me, that he said that the 270 at exactly 320 yards, it was lacking the power to kill an elk. And I'm thinking, what's he talking about? I mean, look at the numbers here. At 300 yards, this rifle is putting out 2,035 foot-pounds of energy at 300 yards. So that'll kill an elk. At 400, it's 1818. Hello. And then at 500, it's 1619. So I don't know where he gets his numbers, but this is a standard 270, 150 grain with 2905 foot velocity out the muzzle, shooting at 500 yards, and I'm getting 1,600 pounds. So I don't know. He must have been confused with something else that he said it exactly at after 320, and I'm thinking, what? That's kind of weird. All right, so let's go back down to the 7M08. 7M08, it's poor. Is the poorest one. 4178 drop, 1351. Now the 308 with a heavier bullet, 168 grain. Velocity at the muzzle is 2910. It dropped 40, and so it's an inch less than the 7M08, and it has more energy. It's got 1575. Again, it's 1575. According to everybody that hunts elk, they say that 1500 With 1500 you can kill an elk. There it is. 1575. 400 yards you get 1826. 300 yards you get 2108. So you can kill an elk in all these ranges. And the bullet drop, it's you know, the 7MOA is supposed to be a 7mm, supposed to be flatter, da da da. Well, there it is. 4178 versus 4037. Now, Ron Spooner, that he's always putting down the 308. This is for you, buddy. 40.37 versus 41.78. You can't beat that. And the bullet weight on the 7M08, it's 150. It's a lot lighter than 178. How can this thing drop? It's because when you have the right coefficient, and he knows about that, 503 on the 308, and you have maximum load of 2910, you can get those results with a 308. He showed a video, I saw this a few months ago, maybe it was last year, that he was showing the 7M08 hitting the middle of the target, and the 308 was 8 inches below or something, 9 inches below or something like that. I said, no, that is wrong. Yeah, if you're using a 200 grain bullet, but you have to match the bullet to the caliber, you know, and see which one performs the best. If you put a 200 grain on a 308, yeah, it's going to drop like a brick. No ballistic coefficient or anything, because it doesn't have it. Flat base and everything else. This is a bow-tip bullet with a 503. And there it is. Excellent results. So the 7M08 in this list is the loser. Now for the other three, let's look. 270 Magnum. Let's just call it a Magnum. I know it's a short mag, but it's a Magnum. Has less energy being a Magnum than the 270 that it's not a Magnum. You got 1619 versus 1551. That's, I know it's a puzzle, but look at the drop. 3769 versus 3687. It's not even a complete inch. It's like a 3/4 of an inch from a 270. From an old-fashioned 50-year-old or more 270. That's impressive. So if I was thinking of getting this one, the 270 WSM, and then I look at the ballistics and I'm going for an inch, for less than an inch, 3/4 of an inch difference. I'm going to buy another gun, $1,200, and I'm going to lose 100 pounds of pressure. No. On the 6.8 Western, for an additional additional inch that is dropping more, you're getting the same weight, the same energy. 1619. They're both the same, but this one drops an inch further. Okay, and then the 7M08, I'm sorry, I mean it's not, there's no point I'm getting another gun that you're going to have more drop and everything else. And this is at 500 yards. Now, people say, oh, because if you go beyond 500, you're going to see the results. Well, yeah, of course. Let's do that, because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's do 700 yards, and let's shoot it and see what everybody does. Because I know everybody's going to drop a few more inches, that's for sure. Okay, so here we go. Look at the 7M08 line. The purple, it's still on the bottom. All right, so the 270 Magnum dropped 99 with 1,000 energy. The 270 Winchester dropped 97, flatter than this one, with 1272, more energy than the Magnum. Figure that out. The 6.8 Western dropped 101. It dropped more than the 270. With 1232, less energy than the 270. The 7M08 dropped 110 with 986, a lot less energy and a lot more drop. And the 308, of course, 107, which is less than the 7M08. and the energy it's more. It's 1156. So the 7M08, where is it that is supposed to be this outperforming bullet against the 308? Being that the 308 bullet is huge. It's 168. It's very heavy. 107 here versus 110. You know, an inch is an inch, 4 inches is 4 inches, 5 inches is 5 inches. So, you know, it is what it is. The 7M08 didn't cut it. It just didn't cut it. So I was thinking of getting, for a flatter trajectory, I was thinking of getting the 270. Okay, so there it is. I'm not going to get another gun in these calibers. Now there's a new caliber. Now there's a new caliber that I was looking at. That is a 6.5 PRC. It's supposed to have superior ballistics, superior energy, and far shooting range, but they're saying that is the equivalent of the 270 in a short action. So, and everybody's going to the short action as the in thing right now. That in thing can cost you $1,500 if you get a quality gun. And I was looking at the X-Bolt by Browning, and the Christensen, which is a really nice gun. It looks very, very good. I held one in my hand about 3 years ago, and I didn't even know who Christensen was. And so I picked it up, and it was in a 6.5 Creedmoor, I remember that. And I said, well, no, I'm not interested in that caliber. But the PRC has a 200 feet more, which, you know, 200 feet more of speed. I don't have, in my books, I don't have any information on the 6.5 because this is a very new caliber that came out maybe, I think it's less than a year. I don't have information on my books. I will have to buy another book. So I was looking at the way of finding the brass. I already found a place. I found the dies, RCBS. I found the primers are the same that I have. But there was a comment by a guy. Yeah, they do have it. The 6.5, they do have it, but they have it in a 24-inch barrel. That's kind of long. I wanted a 22, maybe a 20. And it's in a 1.8, so that's pretty tight. I mean, that thing will spin pretty good in 24 inches. But there was a comment by a guy who said that if you're shooting a lot of it, it burns out barrels because it's a hotter load. They're saying that the 6.5 Creedmoor burns out barrels. I don't know how many rounds you have to shoot to do that. I'm not going to be doing that because it's a hotter load. And the only difference in between the 270 and the 6.8 PRC, I think, is the kick. I think that the PRC was 20 pounds and the 270 was 21 pounds. So you know what I'm going to work on, I don't think it's worth doing it, to be honest. I can make the same shot with a 270 if I do it right. Now, on the new book, I found out the Nosler is offering in the 270 160 grains, but the ballistics is not that good. The coefficient on the bullet is 434. It doesn't have flat trajectory, so you can go over to that. I don't know if they're going to make a 152 or 155. Maybe not, but The 150 does the job, and the 140 that's what I'm loading. 140, it's beautiful, beautiful the way it performs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on the stock of my gun because I also went in to see into stockies. Let me see. Yeah, stockies stocks, and also the what's the other one? There's another one that starts with a B. I can't remember. Those stocks are costing more than what the gun was worth when I bought it. $469 for a stock. It loses, it says it's 2 pounds. I took out the stock of my existing Ruger, my 270, and I think I remember it was 2.5 pounds. I'm gonna make a switch for 5 pounds and spend that kind of money on another caliber and the whole thing. Because the guns now are lighter. I know that, but by the time you put the scope and everything else, boom, goes back up again. So I'm gonna work on the stock, and I already did some things to it and weigh it. It did go down a little bit. I don't remember how much, because the wood, there's only so much you can take. I shortened the stock against the shoulder, so now it fits me on the money. It's right there. I mean, it's a perfect fit. And I kind of cut some grooves on the forearm, and also I drilled some holes into the stock. I think they were 5/8. Maybe I can go a little wider on the hole. Do that. And I also changed the pad. The pad was stiff. It was hard as hell, so I bought a new one. And the gun is perfect. That thing is as smooth as silk. So I don't think I'm going to a new caliber. If it's a 6.5 PRC, I'm never going to burn out the barrel. It's just that I got excited about a new gun, lighter weight, but by the time you put the scope and everything, it's going to be pretty close to the 270 I have now. And this bullet is going to give me the same performance as the 270. And that's why I was looking at the Magnum, the 270 Magnum. And I'm going to sell the 7mm Magnum. I am selling that one. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to show you that if you do your own loading, you can work on your bullet and tweak it and have very good performance out of that bullet. And if you compare it to all this new stuff, you're going to be surprised that it's a marginal difference. Not enough to make the expense. So that's it. I wanted to show that for you guys. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. And thank you.